When we look at the world, we see there is an awful lot of pain and suffering, like the pandemics, refugees, wars, hungers, persecutions. It looks like the bad forces are winning and there is nothing we can do about it. Many are asking if there truly is an all-powerful God, why doesn't He intervene and give comfort and help to those who need it? It's a valid question. After all, every day people by the millions pray to God for His help. Is God not listening? Did God take a coffee break? In this video, we will explore the answer by looking once again at the bigger picture perspective.
As we have learned before, we are all spiritual beings made of light or love. Over time, many of us have acted against the law of love and with that burdened ourselves with soul burdens or karma. And the fastest way to undo our soul burden is to incarnate to planet Earth. Every time before we incarnate, we are shown a life preview of how our future life as a human being will more or less look like with all the difficulties and challenges that we would have to face. Watch my video on life before birth. But in spite of all these challenges, we have wholeheartedly agreed to this incarnation because we knew that in this short school visit to planet Earth, we can grow faster and clear up more karma than we could in the spiritual realm, where it would take eons and eons. Furthermore, and this is very important, this time around we were shown that planet Earth will also go through drastic changes. We knew that we would be born into a period of major transition, upheaval and cleansing so that the Earth can go into a higher frequency and become divine again. An event of epic proportions. Yes, we knew that our life here will probably be more difficult than ever before. In spite of it, we have agreed to be here during this special time, and many also came to help in this time of transition. Besides life itself, the greatest gift God gave us is our free will. And to make sure that we use the free will wisely and according to the law of love, we are provided with a lot of help during our life here on earth. Firstly, every culture in the world knows a version of the golden rule that says, do unto others as you want them do unto you. Or the other way around, don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you. Very simple and straightforward to live a positive life. We also have the 10 Commandments, the Sermon on the Mount, and our conscience to guide us. Furthermore, each one of us has a guardian angel who is always by our side in critical moments. So God gave us a lot of help, a lot of roadside assistance for our incarnation so that we can achieve our goal to become divine again. But when we ignore all this help and think, speak, or act against the law of love, we create new karma according to the law of sowing and reaping. As we have seen in my videos, that karma is stored up here in the repository planets of the material and semi-material cosmoses. Karma is not punishment, but a consequence of our actions and a powerful teaching tool. When this karma eventually comes back to us in this or a future lifetime, we will experience the pain and suffering we have inflicted on others, so that in future we will never do it again. Again, a very straightforward and simple process. The problem is that we humans are slow learners. We only learn either through insight or through pain. The insight is when we follow the golden rule or our inner guidance and help. Unfortunately, very few are willing to follow their insights. Most of us need to experience the karmic pain and suffering before we make the much needed and long overdue changes. These repository planets up here don't only store our individual karma, but also our collective karma that we created together as a group, society, or country. Let me give you some examples. For instance, with our taxes, we collectively spent $2,000 billion every year for military expenses like bombs for the sole purpose to kill other people and destroy their property. Think about that. That is obviously against the law of love. That money could have gone to feed the hungry, the destitute, clothe, give shelter, and educate millions. For profit and selfish reasons, we have polluted the earth, the water, and the air. We have harmed the nature kingdoms, raped the earth, burned the trees, enslaved, tortured, and killed billions of animals, and so much more. The list goes on and on. All this is stored in these planets. But now the time has come that these planets are full and ready to download all that negativity back to us. It's a purification process for our soul. We are experiencing the flowing out of our own karma so that we can finally be totally free of it. This downloading can look horrific, like pandemics, wars, blows of fate, hunger, and nature disasters like floods, fires, and hurricanes, and so on. It all comes back to us and planet Earth as a gigantic cleansing, which will eventually bring the Earth into a higher and purer frequency to become divine again. Each one of us is differently affected by this epic event according to our own individual karmic burden. Let me repeat this again. When we use our free will and act against the law of love, we create karma that gives us our drama. So here we are now, in our total misery, and cry out to God, God, help us! Please stop all the bad people from doing all that horrible stuff. Help us in our suffering and our pain. Where are you, God? Why don't you hear us? Every day millions of people are pleading for relief and comfort from the karma that they are experiencing. God always listens to His children because God, the Spirit of love, is in each one of us, in every soul. But think about it. If He would suddenly intervene and take away our fate, He would interfere with our free will, and love never does that. Furthermore, if He would suddenly stop all these disasters, would we as souls have truly learned anything from that? Wouldn't we in no time be back and doing the same negative actions like before? Back into the same old patterns? So by experiencing and enduring these terrible effects, hopefully our soul will eventually recognize that each one of us has created this mess, this drama, to ourselves and to the earth. No one else to blame. Once we have taken full responsibility for our action, felt deep remorse in our heart, ask for forgiveness, offered amend, and don't continue the negative way of life, divinity, God, will then be able to help us even more and assist us, if we ask for it. So God does intervene for us once we have made the required 180-degree turnaround. Unfortunately, so many of us humans have moved further and further away from divinity. Therefore, it is not always possible for God, the Spirit of life, to support and heal His child immediately or instantly. If our unlawful ways have become ingrained in us, we no longer know how to invoke the healing ether powers. We have shadowed our soul and slowed the rotation of our 7 consciousness centers so much that the healing and helping ether powers cannot become effective immediately. It takes time. But once our karma is transformed, the blockage is cleared, and God's divine energy can then freely flow and nourish firstly our soul and then heal our body. We can assist the spiritual world, helping us all through positive goals and thoughts and actions. Then we open ourselves to the powerful divine help that our Divine Father so dearly wants us to have, because God wants us back home, back into the absolute reality. He asks us to accept His help and His hand to guide us through this dark period. His love will make us free and strong and give us the safety that we so desperately crave for right now, so that we do not escape into resignation or are controlled by fear. I believe that His invitation to us is beautifully expressed in the 23rd Psalm, "The Lord is my shepherd." If you don't know it by heart, Google it and read it over and over again. I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video.